Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about name entity recognition and also visualizing the name entity recognition. So name entity recognition is one of the most important application in natural language and understanding. It is the part of extracting information from unstructured text data. It focuses mainly on identifying the proper nouns and give its entity label, name of the organization, currency, country, person, quantity of weight, distance, ranking, date, time, percentage, language, religion, etc. Can be recognized and labeled as a category through Spacy library. So in order to analyze the text in Spacy, it must be processed through NLP objects. So it's a good idea to start the text analysis with the text tokenization as follows. So before we move into the text analysis, first we import Spacy. So as you can see, I've imported Spacy and I've loaded again the English language n_core_web_sum, and then I printed NLP. So it says it has loaded the English document. And now when I have collect the token, so I have passed the entire text. So I've taken a random text. My name is Nashar. I'm living in Los Angeles, California. So I have taken this particular piece of text, and when I run this piece of code, I get this. So each token from this sentence I have taken each token and I have separated each token with this double stick type of kind of symbol. So you can see here, each token is separate with this double line. So the method .text in Spacy enables us to identify every unit of the text, including words, punctuation, and symbols. However, we might need to search for a specific information on my text, such as extracting name entity. To extract the name entities from this text and collect its label categories, we can do by going through the class.ends of Spacy library, where we can extract its entity name through .text attribute and its label through .label as follows. So let me show you the piece of code for that. So you can see .label to extract the labels, .text to extract the name of the entity. So when I run this piece of code, I get that Nashar has been identified as person, Los Angeles GP, ORG. You might be wondering what the short form GP, ORG, date, time is what it shows. So you can just scroll up, and this is the image. So you can infer from this image. You can pause the video and see, like person, label person, so explanation, proper name of people such as first or last names. Nashar has been saying. GP, the geographical entity such as city, state, country. So Los Angeles, California, as we have seen. I live in Los Angeles, California. It has ORG, means the organization entity, Amazon, anything, money is monetary value, and so on. So you can just pause the video and see. So Spacy is able to recognize Nashar as a person name, Los Angeles, California as a GP tag, which means geographical entity, Amazon and House State University as ORG tag, which is an organization entity, November 9, 2020, and annual as a date, 5 miles away as a quantity tag, 78,230 as money, and Arabic as NORP tag, which refers to the category of nationality or religion or political, NORP group, 6 as cardinal entity, second as an ordinal tag. I would like to give a description of the common tags of named entity library in the following image, so which you have just seen. So to see the explanation of entity labels, we can do that through Spacy.explain as following. So we have, for Spacy.explain, I run this piece of code. Again, I pass the entire text. For entity text, I have taken Spacy.explain. Each label, I want to get the name and the label and the explanation of each value. So you can see here is a table in the output. When I run this piece of code, you can see the output here. So as we can see here, the word Arabic is recognized as NORP tag and explained as nationalities or religious or political groups, while the word English is a tag of language and is explained as any named language. So to get the number of specific name entity, let's say the number of times of the entity ORG occurs on our outer text. So we can do that through the len function on the list comprehension. So it will be like len, and you have to ent it for ent in my text dot ends, and if ent dot label equals to r. So this will matches that if the entity label is org, so you have to count the number of times that it has occurred. So when I run it, you get the output as 3. Now for extracting name entity through a function, so it is a good idea to use Spacy library for extracting name entity through a function and apply it on any given text. So the class dot ends is the main component for extracting name entities, and as well as we did previously, we can collect more information of the entity through various attributes like dot text, dot label, Spacy dot explain. Our function must be read in a way like if there is an entity on our text, print the entity text, the entity label, and the entity explanation for every entity. So our function should look something like this, as you can in the screen. So I've created this function. So when I pass like, may I borrow Harry Potter book in May? So when I run this, so will it be able to identify it? And yeah, it is identified Harry Potter as person, people including fictional. And there, so when I run for a code, like how are you doing? So when I run this piece of code and when I pass that in our function, so as you can see, there is no name entity event found. So when I run this, so the output I get is again no named entities found, which says like there is no named entities in this, and we can clearly see that there is no such differentiate maker in this piece of sentence. This was about name entity recognition. Now let's jump how to recognize and how to visualize the name entity recognition. So now I will explain you how to visualize NER with the Spacy. So to visualize the name entity, we will import Spacy from our Spacy. The Spacy class is a mix of the word display and Spacy. So you can check it out here. So first we imported library, imported Spacy, and again the same things. And from Spacy we imported Spacy. Now I will create my text as NLP object to get it ready for pre-processing by Spacy library. So I have created this piece of text which I have passed through, and I have created this NLP object. When I run this, so the object has been created. So to visualize the entities, we will use the render method where we will define the style as ent for entity and Jupiter equals to true. So when I run this piece of code, you can see, voila, it's looking so beautiful. So the Spacy class is able to define the food and the drug administration and tags it is as an org and highlighted it with the light blue for the org tag and highlighted on the name entity, as we can see here. So for the different entities, the different colors has been shown. United States GP, so yellowish color, tens of millions cardinal number. COVID-19 org, nearly 3 lakhs has been again shown as cardinal. So it has recognized this piece of entity. Perhaps this shows the power of Spacy as well. Now what if I have a text of multiple sentences and I want to view those sentences line by line, such as the following text. Suppose this is the text I have. So I just run it. Okay, so to do a sentence segmentation and display the above text line by line, we will simply iterate over each sentence of my text through the method .sends, and we will display the entities as we did before through the class displacy.render on the tokens of each sentence and specify the style as ent as follows. So you can see now when I run this piece of code, and you can see again. So we can see that the about text has 4 sentences and they were displayed line by line. The first sentence starts with org entity, which is the food and the drug administration. The second sentence starts with a landmark and it is not a name entity, but it is viewed in a new line. The third sentence is a date entity and it is started in the line today. And the last sentence is a person tag and it is viewed in a new line. So you can even customize your NER visualization. So we can filter our NER visualization and specify it with entities that we are only interested in through a dictionary where its values are in the entity tags. So if I want to visualize the entities of organization and countries, my value list would include only org and GPE, as we have seen that GP stands for geographic entities as well. So while the key of my options is ENTS as follows. So you can see I've created a code, customized ends. I have only interested in org and GP. Now when I type Spacy.render, so will it show? And you can see only these two entities has been shown here. The entities of organization with the blue highlighted color and countries with orange highlight where the only entity is visualized. But what about customizing the colors and effects of my highlighted, which you can see? So can we do that? The answer is yes, we can even do that. So to customize the color effect, there is a default color for each entity tag. However, we can customize colors and effects of the tags through a dictionary where the key is the entity tag and the value is the selected color with its effects as follows. So you can see now when I click it, I have taken 90-degree red, blue, and I wanted this particular colors. Now when I run this piece of code, and you can see it's now more beautiful. So as we can see here, I only customize the org entity with the colors and effects, and I can use the default color for the geographical tag. I chose to start with the red color, and with the blue color for each org entity, I selected the shade of 90 degrees. You can see, so both corners of the highlight were colored. So this is how you can even visualize your name entity recognition. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that was it about the name entity recognition. Thank you.